spent your youth in the library fortress of Candlekeep, under the kind tutelage of your foster father Gorion. Imoen shared this home, a kindred spirit. Her background was as mysterious as your own. Gorion's murder brought answers to your questions when his killer Shadowhawk was revealed to be your brother. You and Shadowhawk were a product of the time of troubles, a chaotic period when gods were made flesh and forced to walk the earth. One such deity foresaw his own death and walked the land before the cataclysm. He left a score of mortal offspring, intended to be the fuel for his rebirth. The god was Bhaal, Lord of Murder, and you are one of his children. Shadowhawk sought a war of sacrifice to prove his worth, believing he could become the new Lord of Murder. You killed your brother, sending his taint back to Bhaal. You were the hero of Baldur's Gate, but some suspected you shared the same lineage as Shadowhawk. You departed soon after, under circumstances much darker than anyone would have believed. They came as you rested, figures cloaked in mist that clouded your thoughts, blurring the lines between consciousness and dreaming. There was no malice or hatred, no mention of an old score, only quick capture and the promise of grim deeds to come.
Hello and welcome, people of the YouTubes. I am Shadowhawk 2012, and this is my 2500 subscriber Let's Play. And one that kind of snuck up on me, actually. I was not expecting it anytime soon. It was kind of in the back of my mind that it was going to be end of 2015, or was likely to hit that target. But honestly, the last month or so, my numbers have just skyrocketed. I've gone from getting 20 subscribers a month to nearly 50 this month, and it's just kind of thrown things out of order. So yeah, huzzah, we're nearly up to 2500. In fact, we will be by the time this goes live. And I decided the game I want to play should really reflect things. And I think what we're going to do here is a semi-blind Let's Play of Baldur's Gate 2, the Enhanced Edition. Now, my first Let's Play, the first Baldur's Gate game, I knew inside out, back to front, and what I didn't know, particularly most of it admittedly in the late game, I kind of knew enough about to take the hints to, you know, to go and do things. And we did quite a lot in that first Baldur's Gate Let's Play. I recommend watching that before you do this one, but if not, it doesn't matter. The way I set that up was, I basically did a multiplayer account, so I'd have 6 player characters. And the idea was that when one of them fell, I would have to replace it with a character in the game. In short, I only had to do this twice, but that meant I had 4 characters who basically survived from beginning to end with a couple of hiccups. The hiccups being when the main character died and I had to restart the whole thing, and also the final fight, which you have to cheese to win. Yeah. It's fine. So my knowledge of Baldur's Gate 1 was quite good. My knowledge of Baldur's Gate 2, non-existent, because I never picked up Baldur's Gate 2 until it was on GOG, I think. GOG might have been the first time I actually bought Baldur's Gate 2, the original one, and then I picked up in the Enhanced Edition when it came out a couple of years ago. So really, I know the first chapter of this game from playing it a few times. We tried its multiplayer. Didn't quite work as well as it did during the first game. Shame we never got finished on that one, but I've kind of lost touch with Question All the Things, Tommy Girl, and, you know, there have been other things going on in the background. It would be nice to pick that up again, but in all reality, that first Baldur's Gate Let's Play is going to be left where it was. So, the rules for this one are going to be somewhat cheaty. Somewhat. Because the first thing that happens when you play Baldur's Gate 2, if you're importing the file, which I will be doing, is that you lose all of your inventory. This is just how the game goes. You do get a few things in the game. For example, the golden pantaloons you can keep, but they're in a trapped area. But, yeah. We therefore need to come up with a new... Now, here's the thing, we need to get all our items again, but I like the items we had, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume that they locked up all of our items in that trap-filled chest, and therefore I'm going to keep all of the items. How am I going to do this? There are two ways. Firstly is getting pause at the right moment, and I tried this a few times just because I know this trick existed in the old game. Got it working in Baldur's Gate 2 actually, but I've never got it working in the Enhanced Edition. I don't know whether they patched it out or whether I'm just not got the reaction times to make it happen. So I found a different way. I'm going to set up a multiplayer server, which will be that. It's the usual password, but of course it's not going to matter because I'm going to be there very, very quickly. And we're going to create a character. We're going to import from the save game the final save, which is the save file I had at the end of Baldur's Gate 1, which I've just basically passed over. I have a file called Cheaty Goodness. I have no idea what I was doing with Cheaty Goodness, but okay. That might be worth checking out at some point, actually. Might do that as a sort of aside. And here are the four characters. Keisha Dawn, the Ranger of Awesome. Laura Shieldheart, the No, actually, that was Sylviana Swift, who is the Ranger of Awesome. Keisha Dawn is the 20 Wisdom Cleric we picked up. Laura Shieldheart is Miss Paladin of Awesome, and the Frontline Fighter. And I am Urden Thunderbane, Dwarvern Drizzt, as I refer to myself occasionally. We are the Underdwarf, the drow of the dwarves, and we have a lot of constitution, a lot of strength, and we got a lot of scimitar skills. And we also have, you know, Drizzt's scimitars. But, you know, it did cost us a lot of the honor system points, but you know what, we got around that somehow. So here we are. Now, I don't like the voices as much in Baldur's Gate 2, I'll be honest. I think the Baldur's Gate 1 voices were a bit more iconic.
Quick and painful. To battle with no... To battle and victory! To battle and victory!
The male voices are okay, it's the female voices that actually get me, but I'll get to that in a little bit, because I've got to pick all of them, I think. Oh wait, we're going to go male 4, because that is the gruff voice for Urden Thunderbane, Dwarvern Drizzt. And we're done. This may have confused you, but don't worry, there is a plan. At that point, the point where it sort of flashes the screen beforehand, you keep all your stuff. But anyway, plot-related stuff to start with. Pretty much this is only going to be character creation and setup, but I have to do this a little bit first. You'll see why when I get there.
Bhaal has awoken. It is time for more...
Experiments.
The pain will only be passing. You should survive the process.
Should. I mean, the other thing I did,
Interesting. You have much untapped power.
I'm a fighter with a few magic spells for healing. That's it.
Do you even realize your potential?
Golems.
More intruders have entered the complex, Master.
They act sooner than we had anticipated. No matter, they will only prove a slight delay.
And Dimension Door, because this game starts at level 7-8, so we're now into the higher level magic territories. Also, I have no idea who that guy is, but he fails. I've never got far enough in the game to realise who that guy is or what this group represents. But this is Imoen, and she was in my group of 6 at the end.
Wake up, you. Wake up! Come on, we have to get out of here.
Everyone, what's going on? Message ahead 2. Alright, I'm moving. I equal over though. We'll find out and then figure out what's going on. Okay. Right you are, let's go. Now, we are going to have to kick Imoen out of the party, but I'll get to that in a little bit. You will notice that we have no equipment. Imoen also should have no equipment. She doesn't, actually. She does have a belt, which is mysterious and cannot be removed. But that's not going to be relevant to us, because we're not going to be using Imoen. We're going to be making a couple of new characters to replace the 2 that died. So that Shadowhawk Bloodbane, I think, was the mage, and... No, it wasn't Shadowhawk Bloodbane. Who was he? I I forget. And Daryl DM, who, yeah, was our assassin, who unfortunately died in a side quest. Yeah, it happens. But anyway, what we can now do is we can go back to this screen. But before I do that, I actually have to kick somebody out of the party. So, reform party. Remove. Remove. Done. And now we're going to go to here.
That's gratitude for you. You aren't going to abandon me here, are you? We have to stay together. I feel it.
It's better easier to sneak out of here. And there we go. So now, we're going to modify characters. Oh, game cannot be saved at this time. That's fine. So, what's this go thing? Modify characters. So now, we can create a new character. And I'm going to create a character who is called Urden Thunderbane. This may confuse you a little bit, but trust me, this will work. So therefore, appearance, yes, done. Male 4, done. Oh, no. Name, Urden Thunderbane, accept. And there we go. The other thing we're going to do is unclick that. And we are going to delete this character. We're in fact going to delete both characters. Create new character. That's what I should have done actually. Sorry, I got it the right way around. I just did the wrong things here. Final save, next, Urden Thunderbane. Now what this will do, oddly, is it will remove us from the event which causes us to lose all our items. Because that's already happened. So the other thing we can now do is we can create our other characters. So character file, import, save game, final save, Laura Shieldheart. There we go, our human female cavalier with 1800 strength, constitution, and all the bastard sword skill you could want. And this one,
you will fall by my hand.
This is what I mean by the female character voices, they're just not as impressive.
The obvious choice. Everyone will benefit under my leadership.
You're not so tough.
That's just Angelica. We're not having Angelica as the paladin.
You will fall by my hand. Of course, I'm the best choice.
That's probably the only decent female voice there. And that will go to Laura Shieldheart, except. Right. Then we create a new character who shall be. Save file, final save. Keisha Dawn, our cleric. Now, she was a bit more of an all-rounder. I really messed up with the character creation side of Keisha. She's really have lowered her dexterity down to 7 and just given her the strength, constitution 16 and possibly a few more charisma points. But still, she is, generally speaking, a good all-rounder, and 20 wisdom is not to be sniffed at this point. What I will do, though, is just because it refits her banger face a bit, is get the colouring scheme a little better.
You will fall by my hand.
We'll go for the default there, just because of stuff and things. And finally, we have the real powerhouse of the team. We have the character. We have save game, final save. We have Sylviana the Swift, and she has to repick her racial enemies, which is interesting. What did she have it on last time? But also, I don't know this game particularly well, so I'm thinking we want to select here. What could she actually deal with quite effectively? Illithids are possible. I can throw it for Lich. There might be Liches in this game, I don't actually know offhand. I'm going to go with Demonic. That wasn't what she originally was, but there you go. So this is our Archer. Yep. Those stats are ridiculous. I agree. Appearance is fine as it is, and then we're going to have to pick...
The obvious choice.
I didn't want her as a gruff Sylviana the Swift.
Everyone will benefit. Oh, you know, I could really use some rest.
I think we're going to have to go with that. It's sort of lesser of evils at this stage, but we've already run out of acceptable female voices by the time we get to this stage. So there we are. We have our team that survived. We now need 2 new players. We're going to create ourselves a new rogue, who will be, of course, the real DM the second. And we need a suitably roguish character. I'm going to stick for the sprites from the old game, I think. In fact, that was Derail DM's little thing there, so there we go. Race, he was a half-elf, I believe, but I don't think that gives him a lot of benefits in this one. The elf would be an okay choice, actually, considering. We could also go with halfling. But, I mean, Derail DM being a halfling, I don't know. I tend to play Halfling Thieves a lot, actually. So maybe we do want to go Halfling here. Class, multi-class, so it could be a Fighter Thief. Which does have its benefits. It allows us to basically do things a lot more. I think it was a dual class originally, so the plan was dual class Thief and then convert him to Wizard. That might be a little tricky to manage in this game, considering we're starting at level 7 and 8. So a level 8 Thief to convert back into a fighter afterwards. I think we're going to have to stick with a Halfling route here, and I'm going to go with a Fighter Thief. So Halfling Fighter Thief, who shall be Chaotic Good. Abilities. So we need a reasonable set of stats here. And that's the music starting up. Oh, we passed an 86. It's not urgent that we get ridiculous stats, but there we go, 86. Right. Intelligence we're not in need of. Wisdom we're not in need of. Charisma we're not really in need of. So 17 is as high as we can go for strength as a halfling, which is fine. We can live with that. 19 dex and 18 constitution. And then we're just going to put the remaining points into intelligence because that's probably the safest place to put them. I'm also going to cut a couple of points of wisdom. I'm going to go down to wisdom 7 and just get that intelligence up to 15 for an extra lore point. Don't think that's massively important to us though. Something like that will do. Skills. So, in terms of skills, we have a lot of points. So, since we have a lot of points, we're going to go pickpocketing up to 85. We're going to go open locks up to 85. And we're going to find traps up to 85. This is actually a little overkill, I think. I think 75 was as high as you needed to have in Baldur's Gate 1 to be able to find everything. Still, I'm going to go with it. I'm also going to up our Move Silently and Hide in Shadows to 40 and put the rest of the points into Detect Illusion. I don't think that's going to be a massively important thing for us, but you never know. I'm also not a setting trap kind of rogue. And those points will go up. We'll basically go and boost these remaining 3 skills until they're somewhat useful. So, what do we want in terms of styling here? Well, we are sort of trying to be a... Let's think about this. Single weapon style, -2 to AC, so that basically gives him a shield. Not a magic shield, admittingly, but still a shield. And allows him to go 1 weapon. Or, we could go over 2 weapon style and have him do what Dwarvern Drizzt does. Long and short swords are probably the most common things that we're going to come across in the game, so I'm actually tempted to go that and that. I might also give him, though, a ranged weapon, just to support Sylviana, perhaps. Sword and shield, that's defense against melee weapons. I might actually just go with a single weapon style. So it basically does it. Additional crit chances, the 2 most common weapons in the game there. Might give him axe skill just on the off chance we find magical axes. We don't think anybody else is going to be using them. So yeah, that's basically, this is the character who's sort of going to try and do a lot of helpful things for me. So, as you are a paladin in brown, a thief in brown, you shall look like a thief in brown. And also, it's black hair. Your skin, though, is ridiculously pale. We're going to fix that. No, bronze skin. Yeah, that looks okay.
Let's do this, quick and to battle! With no to battle! I will strive to lead responsibly.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I mean, you're not actually charismatic at all, but, you know, the real DM 2. No, we don't like numerical numbers on things. Let's go for one of my old classic characters, the Elden Goodbarrel. One day I will probably have to tell his story because it is quite amusing. Slimeboy will definitely have his own side of the story, but I have my side, and my side was Elden Goodbarrel's side. So there we go, we have Elden Goodbarrel, Halfling Thief Fighter. Next up, we need a wizard, and wizards are vital. We shall have a male wizard, and we shall have Pompous Pinkrobe. Or that's at least what Dylan tends to call it. We are probably not going to call him that. Looking at things, we don't want the half-orc. We're probably going to go with a half-elf here, just for the additional infravision and resistance to sleep magic. Arguably, this would be a better way to go about it, but we're going to stick with half-elf for the moment. So, half-elf, we're going to go with a mage. Actually, where are we going to go with an invocation mage? Because if I do that, I've got to be human. Now, this transmutation mages are fairly good. The only bad ones are abjuration, which I actually like as well. Conjuration, divination. Darn it. Alright, I think we might have to be human then. So human mage. Could go wild mage. I mean, it's not as if Nero wasn't yeah, actually Nero was going to be a problem for us. So we're going to go with invocation. So I think that's what I was originally. Invocation. We like to burn things, so we are going to be true neutral. Because fire is, you know, fire is a thing. 81. Don't need ridiculous stats here, but we'll see what we get. It's an 86. I think 86 will be fine. No point in raising those stats above 16. Don't know why I did that. I actually need the thing there. 18 there. That leaves me 16. So we go something that looks a little like that. Try a couple of times to see if we can get anything higher than the 5. $82. There is no music while it's going on. This is actually... Alright, I'm gonna stick with that. So, huzzah. We have our face, of course, so we don't need to worry about anybody else. We're going for double sling dart, because sling dart is the only way to go with this. Done. Right, mage book for level 1. Chromatic orb was always helpful. We shall probably actually want to pick things that we wouldn't have picked last time. Identify, definitely. Shield. 4 against melee weapons, 2 against that. So shield is definitely for evocation. I think that's what it's actually highlighting there, evocation. Can't have friends, which is a shame. Find familiar only works on the main character, so we can't have that. Reflected image, protection from petrification, and I think we'll take pro evil as our last one. So level 2 spells. We're going to take the Scorcher. We are going to take horror. Because horror is always a helpful one. Mirror image, and I think we're going to take knock. Because you'd be surprised how often knock gets you around some things. And detect invisibility. Now, we're higher level here, and I feel that might actually be a half-decent spell that I have 1 copy of each day. I don't know. So, haste. Haste is awesome. We're going to have haste. Slow might be helpful as well, in all honesty, so I might take that as well. So we got both the speed up and the speed down. We're going to take Fireball. Might regret it, but we're taking Fireball anyway. And after that, I think we're going to go with minus spell deflection, perhaps. Remove magic. So we'll look through that. Base chance of actually being the spell 50 for every level the caster is above the original caster. Okay, so that's not necessarily a bad one either. There is the dispel magic, which we could have instead. In fact, that might be better than slow. Yeah, so with dispel magic, remove magic, haste, and fireball. Level 4. So, we have the blue shield. Protects us from cold damage, also provides shields of an ice flame. If we're hit with any weapons, we give some damage away. It's always a potentially helpful one. Teleport field. Polymorph self, resistant sphere, remove curse, polymorph other. Spider swarm I always like. On the conjuration side of things. Minor globe invulnerability. is a potential option. Can't take a lot of the nice spells that are there, in all honesty. Remove Curse. Remove Curse, Red Shield, and I think we'll take Ice Swarm for the last one. Done, and we are done. So appearance, we need to be in a slightly more purplish robe, but other than that, that seems fine. I think there's also green on the highlight there. Done, and then we need a male voice.
To battle with no regrets.
What's from default?
To battle! I will strive to lead responsibly.
Yeah, we'll take that. And this shall be... I don't actually, what have I got the name mages called? It was something Bloodbane. Bloodbane Shadowhawk. Apparently not. So, Bloodbane Shadowhawk is, I think, how we're going to go with this. So there we are. Bloodbane Shadowhawk. Human Invoker, true neutral, and definitely the first to die in this party. Except, so, after all of this messing around, and all of this stuff and things, we now have...
Yes?
The team. Hello and welcome, team. We have the things. Oh, that's actually off the screen. Don't want that. But we have the things. And what I will do next time is I will actually go and sort things out, actually, here. I should also kind of cheat there. Because he doesn't have the strength to use the Shield of the Falling Stars, we're going to have to find us something else he can use, which I think actually will qualify as that. So there we go. And at least Shield of the Falling Stars to whoever wants it. So next time we shall sort some equipment out, we shall go and swap things around. We shall look at our awesome, awesome, awesome swords. And then... we're going to kick some ass for a little bit. Yes, it's cheating. So what? We don't know this game. This game is going out to get us. But we're coming at it with weapons drawn. Until then, folks.